Namaste viewers, myself Desi Bro. I am an Indian. On this channel, you will see many videos on different topics which are going to be intriguing and fascinating. Maybe some things you don't know, some history, some facts, some science, and some magic. So, without further ado, let's start the video. Today, we're diving into the sometimes messy, often complicated lives of famous writers. We all have writers we love for their incredible stories and genius ways with words. So, buckle up, because today we're exploring 10 famous writers who preached one thing but lived another. First up, we have the brilliant and fiercely outspoken Christopher Hitchens. Known for his sharp wit, atheism, and scathing critiques of religion, he was a giant in the world of intellectual thought. But here's the thing about him. He was surprisingly, and some might say, contradictorily, anti-abortion. He believed that a fetus was a human life with rights, a position often associated with the religious beliefs he so vehemently opposed. This seeming contradiction highlights the complexities of his thinking. It reminds us that people are complicated, nuanced, and rarely fit neatly into predefined boxes. Next, we journey to Middle-earth, the fantastical realm created in The Lord of the Rings. This epic saga, with its themes of good versus evil, courage, and the power of hope, has captivated readers for generations. But behind the beloved fantasy world, there's a lesser-known and troubling aspect of Tolkien's life: his support for Spanish dictator Francisco Franco. Franco's regime was notorious for its brutality, its suppression of political opposition, and its human rights abuses. Some argue that Tolkien's support for Franco stemmed from a shared Catholicism and a deep-seated anti-communism. Whatever the reasons, his support for Franco serves as a sobering reminder that even our literary heroes can be flawed, complex figures. Moving on to a writer who seemed to embody the fight against tyranny. George Orwell, author of 1984 and Animal Farm. His searing critiques of totalitarianism, surveillance, and the abuse of power have resonated deeply with readers for decades. Yet, even Orwell, the champion of free speech and enemy of Big Brother, wasn't without his contradictions. During the Cold War, he compiled a list of individuals he believed were sympathetic to communism, a list that he provided to the British government. His defenders argue that he saw communism as a genuine threat and that his actions were motivated by a desire to protect democratic values. This episode in his life highlights the complexities of navigating political ideals in a world often defined by shades of grey. Let's talk about Ayn Rand, the controversial author of The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Rand's philosophy of objectivism, with its emphasis on individualism, laissez-faire capitalism, and the pursuit of rational self-interest, has attracted a devoted following. She argued that individuals should be responsible for their own well-being and that government programs fostered dependency and undermined human potential. Yet, even Rand, the fierce advocate for individual responsibility, found herself relying on the very system she so vehemently criticized. Later in life, Rand, facing health problems and financial difficulties, enrolled in both Social Security and Medicare. Some argued that her actions exposed a flaw in her philosophy, demonstrating that even the most ardent individualists may ultimately rely on collective support systems. Rand's decision to accept Social Security underscores the complexities of living in accordance with one's ideals. Next, we delve into the world of Henry David Thoreau, the transcendentalist writer best known for his work, Walden. Thoreau's writings celebrate self-reliance, simplicity, and a deep connection with nature. However, Thoreau's own life was far more complicated than the idyllic existence he portrayed in Walden. His self-sufficient retreat to Walden Pond was made possible by the generosity of his friend Ralph Waldo Emerson, who owned the land. Furthermore, Thoreau, while advocating for a simple life, frequently relied on the support of others, returning home to his family for meals and assistance. Thoreau's life and work serve as a reminder that the pursuit of simplicity is often complex and that even those who champion self-sufficiency often rely on the support of others. Now, we turn to John Locke, a towering figure of the Enlightenment, whose ideas profoundly influenced the Declaration of Independence and the formation of the United States. Locke's writings champion individual rights, limited government, and the social contract. Yet this champion of liberty held views that starkly contradicted his own philosophy. Locke, despite his eloquent defense of individual freedom, was involved in the slave trade and even helped draft the Carolina Colony's constitution, which enshrined slavery. Some argue that Locke's involvement in slavery was a product of his time, a reflection of the prevailing social and economic norms of 17th century England. Locke's legacy stands as a reminder that even the most influential thinkers can hold beliefs and engage in practices that contradict their own espoused values. Let's talk about Jean-Jacques Rousseau, another influential figure of the Enlightenment, known for his ideas on education, social contract theory, and the inherent goodness of humanity. Rousseau's writings emphasize the importance of nurturing children's natural development and fostering their emotional and intellectual growth. Yet Rousseau's own actions as a father stood in stark contrast to his progressive views on child rearing. Despite his emphasis on the importance of parental love and guidance, Rousseau fathered 5 children out of wedlock and abandoned each of them to orphanages. Some argue that Rousseau's personal struggles, including poverty and mental health challenges, played a role in his decision. Rousseau's abandonment of his children serves as a reminder that even the most brilliant minds can make choices that contradict their own values. Now we turn to the world of children's literature with Enid Blyton, the beloved author of The Famous Five, The Secret Seven, and countless other cherished children's books. Blyton's stories, filled with adventure, mystery, and the joys of childhood, have captivated generations of young readers. However, behind the whimsical stories and idyllic childhoods depicted in her books lies a darker and more troubling reality. Blyton, despite her success as a children's author, was reportedly a cold and emotionally abusive mother to her own 2 daughters. Accounts from her daughters and those close to the family paint a picture of a woman who prioritized her writing career over her children's emotional well-being. This dissonance between Blyton's public persona as a beloved children's author and her private behavior as a mother has cast a shadow over her legacy. Next, we delve into the world of modernist literature with Virginia Woolf, a literary giant known for her stream of consciousness writing, her exploration of female subjectivity, and her contributions to feminist thought. Woolf's novels, like Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse, broke new ground in their portrayal of women's inner lives, their relationships, and their struggles against societal expectations. However, despite her feminist ideals and her insightful portrayals of female characters, Woolf's personal views on Jewish people were complex and at times deeply problematic. Her diaries and letters contain anti-Semitic remarks that have sparked controversy and raised questions about her legacy. Woolf's anti-Semitism, while often couched in terms of class and cultural differences, reflected the prejudices prevalent in her social circle and in broader British society during her lifetime. Woolf's life and work remind us that even those who challenge one form of oppression can perpetuate others. Finally, we arrive at Flannery O'Connor, an American Southern Gothic writer known for her darkly comic stories populated with grotesque characters, religious themes, and unflinching explorations of race and grace. O'Connor's stories, like A Good Man is Hard to Find and Everything That Rises Must Converge, often confront the South's troubled history with racism and the complexities of faith in a world often marked by violence and injustice. However, despite her insightful portrayals of racial dynamics and her condemnation of prejudice in her writing, O'Connor's personal views on race were complex and, at times, deeply troubling. Her letters contain racist remarks that have sparked debate and raised questions about her true beliefs. Some argue that O'Connor's racist remarks, often made in private correspondence, reflect the casual racism prevalent in her Southern upbringing and should not overshadow her body of work. O'Connor's legacy stands as a reminder that even those who write with nuance and insight about race can harbor prejudiced views. So there you have it, 10 famous writers whose lives remind us that even our idols are human. They fall short, they contradict themselves, and they grapple with the same messy realities we all do. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. See you next time with more amazing topics. Till then, peace.